Hello Marvel Legends and welcome to another episode of the Legends Legacy Review. Now, what am I doing with all these guys here on the desk? What could these folks all possibly have in common? We got, pretty obviously, the superior foes of Spider-Man, so you know what direction we're going in. It is, ladies and gentlemen, Janice Lincoln, the Lady Beetle. Someone who clearly didn't spend too much time workshopping her name. She's a lady who is a version of the Beetle. Lady Beetle. You know what? I'll take it. I like legacy characters. I like characters that harken back to previous identities and all the stories that have come before, and this is very much that. To an extent. You see, first of all, the Beetle, we haven't seen like the male original Beetle, Abner Jenkins, in that guise for decades. Since 96, 97 was the last time we saw him. We have had other versions of the Beetle, but certainly this character here, Janice Lincoln, her design equates directly to the original Abner Jenkins Beetle, even in its kind of retro sort of approach, which is a lot of fun. So this character, again, speaking of legacies, she's really great in that she incorporates so much rich history of the Marvel Universe, which explains why we got Tombstone here, because you might not notice much in the way of a family resemblance, but yeah, Tombstone is Janice Lincoln's baby daddy. She was the result of a tryst he had when he was a small-time, goon, I suppose, before he became, the Tombstone we all know and fear today. But yeah, he obviously got around a little bit, and he met, Lady Beetle, Janice's mother, and I guess it's not only his skin that's as hard as marble. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. So, at the risk of me just showing how pathetically immature I am, let's take a look at the figure itself. So Lady Beetle, first of all, is, beautifully eye-catching. She's got the wings. These wings have been incorporated in so many figures, and rightly so. I mean, of course, you've got the Janet Van Dyne Wasp has these same wings. You've got the original Abner Jenkins Beetle. He's got these as well. With all these figures I plucked off the shelf for this review, probably should have got him down too. Oh well, what are you going to do? So the wings look beautiful, and the articulation on the wings as well is excellent. You can have them folded down, folded away, which actually is really useful considering how much space she takes up on the shelf when the wings are fully extended. It's a lot. It's a lot. Considering how many figures we got to deal with, I can't afford her taking up that much space, so I normally have her posed with her wings down. But that's a little example there. They do come off quite easily, but that's actually a good thing. Because bearing in mind how often our figures are inclined to fall over and, fall from great heights, the fact that these wings come off means that they don't break, which is good. I would much rather parts and accessories easily come away than just snap when they get dropped on the floor, which in my case is a lot. So the character of Janice is a really fun one because she's that perfect sort of example of more nuanced kinds of villainy, because she's not just bad for the sake of being bad. She's not just evil through and through. Before she became Lady Beetle, she was in fact a defense attorney. You could argue more evil than the Beetle. But it was kind of a fun story in which she was representing, you see why we get the other characters here. She was representing Baron Zemo in his day in court. So that was how she made her kind of connection to open supervillainy, basically. So she was his defense attorney, and it was while she was defending him that she got wrapped up with his various nefarious evil schemes, and he outfitted her with the Beetle armor because, again, I love the connections. The Beetle armor was made by the Fixer. Who is the Fixer? He just happens to be a member of the original Thunderbolts. Who was leader of the Thunderbolts? Your boy, Baron Zemo. So it all works together. And I like the idea that, it's not easy to create superhuman battle armor. So if you have an original design, you might as well just incorporate into a new one. So he just took the original Beetle design and made it fit, Janice here, which is kind of like, I'm sure Hasbro can, identify with that. It's a lot of work and expense to make a brand new buck. Just retool an old buck to fit a new body. Exactly the story of Lady Beetle. So the reason why we have Bucky Cap here is because this is where she first debuted. It's a common misconception. Let me straighten you out here. Lady Beetle, although she's famous for being one of the superior foes of Spider-Man, did not debut in Spider-Man. She debuted in Captain America. This was all part of Zemo's plan to take down the original Bucky Cap. Bucky Cap in the comics, Bucky Cap in Bucky Cap form here. So that was where she originally sort of was brought into the Marvel Universe. And it's crazy to think, like, I always consider this to be a relatively new character. And yeah, I guess she is technically relatively new, but like, she's been around over 10 years now. A lot more, actually. So over a decade, we've had Lady Beetle in our lives, and we're all the richer for it. She's a great, fun character. There's even a very sort of interesting, very humanizing take on her when we were going through the Secret Wars storyline and all the incursions were happening and the worlds were all smashing into each other and ending. She spent her final moments having a drunken tryst with Scott Lang, so it was a little romantic meeting of the insects. Anyway, what was I saying about the actual figure? Here we go. The figure itself is a nice figure. It's not like, wow, but as soon as you get these these beetle wings on a character, they're gonna stand out really nicely. What also helps, of course, is that they've got the metallic paint job. The purple is a beautiful, shiny metallic, and I think that actually works really well with the darker green tones. So the dark green tone, it's very, very matte, very flat, but that actually helps because then the juxtaposition of that with the metallic purple really makes it stand out. Sorry, I think I got distracted because I turned it to the side and I was like, whoa, she got butt. Is this must be the, what am I trying to say? Moonstone. I think this is the Moonstone mold, which people kept on saying like, oh, Hasbro are going to retire that because they're all family friendly. And then they've brought out like Jocasta and a bunch of other figures on the Moonstone mold. So yay, female curves. Awesome. So this is a fun figure. It's not blow away, but a lot of that comes with the fact that it's a very basic figure. Basic, doesn't come with any extras, no weapons, no alternate heads, no alternate hands, and that is a real shame. The hands that they've chosen are fine. They're the sort of the female kind of hands. It's a sort of multi-purpose. You see this on everyone. Like Mary Jane holds her purse like this. The Scarlet Witch casts a spell like this, and Lady Beetle just sort of holds her hands. I guess it's kind of like Beetle-y. It sort of works. It's not a static. If it was just like a static Lego hand, it would just be like, ugh, really, is that all we're doing? So this works in a nice kind of way. It's a bit more dynamic. It's cool. I'll take it. I'll happily take it. Also, with a flight stand, any characters like this with wings and a flight stand, mwah, that's just going to look gorgeous. So just to finish up here, we're going to put her in a sort of a lineup. I'm trying to do these figure comparisons, but I don't allow myself enough space to actually sort of contain them here. But you can see she just fits in because she's colourful and she adds so much style, and just, she will pop out on the shelf. And that's why I love Marvel characters, because they're bright and they're so dynamic. Speaking of the brightness and the colours, it makes me ask the obvious question. Cat! What bar is Lady Beetle?
Well, Dave, Lady Beetle is green and purple, so she is a roll of Couchelle toilet paper. And in second place, she is a Quality Street My Green bar. And coming in at first place, she is the 2018 Bristol football kit. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Kat, for that fantastic What Bar segment. That was all What Bar from my very own sister right there. You can tell she's a performer as well, can't you? Just natural like that. All right, guys, now the final piece of the puzzle. Let's take a look and see where Lady Beetle fits on the Legends Legacy ranking. Now, as for Lady Beetle's place on the Legends Legacy ranking, I think we can afford to go quite high. We can skip over, I'd say, at least nearly half of these figures. It's not until I start to get around Constrictor that I think, does she deserve higher? She's more modern, she's got the wings, so she's above Constrictor. Machine Man, again, those wings bump her up a little bit, and I like the figure, the mold. Superior Venom, he loses points because I feel he's undersized, but Sentry, he's a boy, he's bright and colourful, so I'll put her below Sentry, kicking off the top 10. Lady Beetle, number 10 in the Legends Legacy ranking. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in here with a fun fact as well, because I just realised it when researching. I didn't even know at the time that Janice Lincoln actually appears in Spider-Man Far From Home. I didn't even realize she was in the MCU, but she appears as one of Mysterio's scientific henchmen who's in his team and plot to steal Tony Stark's armor. I think when they have the big reveal scene in the bar, she's one of the people there. I had no idea. God bless you, MCU, for using obscure characters. That's why we love you. And you know what? I think that's a very fair and even-handed place for her on there. She's not a spectacular figure, but she is a good figure. She's got a fair bit of reuse there, but also I didn't kind of point out, I ramble for so long about other things that I don't even mention, like the actual sculpting on her kind of, I love her retro 50s, almost like negligee kind of bustier kind of like the design. It's so retro. It's kind of goofy, but it's really fun. It's like if someone made like a 1950s pinup into a supervillain. That's what this looks like, that kind of design. It's very Janet Van Dyne, very 1950s, very kitsch. I love it. So that's why she ranks, a little higher, because she's just a lot of fun. A lot of figures are very sort of, especially modern ones, they got kind of a sort of a practical kind of design to them, especially when you look at MCU figures, because they have to look realistic and not like ridiculous on the silver screen. But with comic books, you can go a little silly, you can go a little fun, you can go a little more stylized, and that's what this character has here. So on the whole, I'm very fond of Lady Beetle. All right, guys, that was the Legends Legacy review for Lady Beetle. Tell me what you think. Do you like Lady Beetle? Do you like the Superior Foes? Why have we not got an Overdrive figure yet? Come on, we need to complete the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. That way it really points out how ridiculous they are that they were referred to as the Sinister Six, even though there's only 5 of them. At the moment, there's only 4 of them. So we got to ratchet up their numbers. In the meantime, guys, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, click the like, share, and subscribe buttons. I almost flubbed that line there. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.